Hi there.
Hi, welcome to Carrie's Collection. I'm Will.
I'm Cinnamon.
So, first of all, we want to address the eBay bad buyer experience. We did a video a couple weeks ago. We will link that in the description about, when eBay talks, you should listen as a seller. Basically, it lays out our position. Offer the best buyer experience that you can, and you really don't have to worry about your future on the platform.
Yep.
So, that right there should be, pretty straightforward to the point. And the video, I was surprised, it actually earned us an unsubscription. So
It did.
I guess if you don't want to do what eBay asks you to do, that's where it ends.
Yeah, I don't know.
So the other thing I want to talk about is auctions and what's going on with auctions and eBay and how auctions are having a negative effect on the rest of the sellers that don't do auctions. So.
Yeah. If you have a business and this is your full-time business, like us, it just is awful. And we've talked about it before. When you're doing comps and you see these auction prices and you're going, I can't believe that sold for so little. We run into it every day. Right.
So, to begin with, yes, there are online auctions, there are online auction places, and you will see if you're in that world that some of the values go for significantly higher than market, and a lot of times they don't. A lot of times they don't make, even close to what they should because there's not what I would consider to be like a consortium of buyers.
Right.
So eBay certainly has a challenge where their items, you can run them for 3 days, 7 day. I think you can do 1 day or 30 days. Most of the buyers are not online all the time looking for that item at all hours, day and night. So, I think that running an eBay auction is a terrible idea unless you have something that's very rare and highly sought after.
And that, yes, exactly. The highly sought after part. We have lots of rare items. We have lots of items that may only be the only ones in the world, but the problem is that buyer going to see your listing during that short window of time that it's available? If it's a PS5, yeah, you're going to have a lot of interest in that item. And that would make sense.
Right. And so just as an example with the PS5, when they were first released, and maybe you got part of that limited first production run, you could purchase that item, retail arbitrage, maybe you were on a waiting list or something. You got it first thing. You got it. You flipped it up onto eBay and you paid $500 and you flipped it into a $1,200 sale. Okay. You're early on. It's highly sought after and very limited quantity.
Right.
Now, over time, as those have come out into production and now they're widely available, you're not going to get $1 over what the minimum price is, what the lowest value is, because the consumer knows to look. They're doing their comps. They know what the items are worth, and they know what they're willing to pay. So if you plan to run an auction, plan to get the lowest price. I mean, that's flat out. You're going to get the lowest price because why, if all things being equal, why would I pay $1 more for yours on auction than the one that's buy it now?
Right. And that is a problem when we are doing our buy it now prices, is that those same customers can look and see, well, what are these things selling for? And they can see. So my bench beads, as an example, right? So that was a $450 piece. And when I was doing the comps, I saw many others that were on auction and they would go for $50 because they only got one bid. Well, you literally sold a $500 piece for $50 because, maybe there was no competition that day that it was ending, or, you know what I mean? So sometimes it really is worthwhile to do your research, to find out what it is and know your own worth. I could have easily put it up on auction and said, well, I guess I'll just take the $50. But, that's not how we can continue to run a business. So you have to know the worth of your items. And sometimes you really do have to kind of stick to it.
Right. So initially here we're talking about how it's negatively impacting us as sellers.
Mm-hmm.
That are, if we're the ones doing the auction, we're taking the beating on price.
Mm-hmm.
So it's worth putting in a little bit more work, coming up with a reasonable comp price. You can still price it at the lowest if that's what you choose to do, but you're going to get significantly closer if you just do a buy it now, price it where it belongs. And even if it's at the bottom of the category, I'm not suggesting that we all rush to the bottom of the category.
Mm-hmm.
I really believe that you have to know what your items are worth, and you have to hold to that and know that, okay, this item might be a little bit longer tail. I'm going to hold on to it for 3 weeks. You really shouldn't be, if you're in this business full time, you really shouldn't be under that pressure. I got to sell it in 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
I got to sell it in 3 days because you're going to take a serious beating on the price after eBay takes their 15% in fees, after you pay for shipping, after all of this stuff comes out, you're left with very little. So,
Yeah.
I mean, even in our business, we talk about the fact that we're running a 25% margin. That is so insignificant when 25% of your total sale actually ends up in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's without doing, lowball offers. That's without, doing lowball, auctions. So, it really is a tough marketplace. And if you're putting stuff out starting at 99 cents,
that's what it's going to sell for.
You're just going to get obliterated on it. And unless, again, I understand if you have special items, you know who you are. If you've got those special items that are high demand, you've got high demand items, you can run those auctions. But for 90% of the people out there, I would compel you, don't do eBay auctions.
Right. Now, there are times that it is appropriate to do the auctions. Like he said, if you have a particular, we've done auctions a couple of times on some like scrap gold. We had a signet ring that, we put in but we started the bid at scrap value because we're not going to start the bid, right, plus fees. We're not going to start the bid at 99 cents. We're not going to start the bid on a $200 piece of gold at, $50 because that doesn't make sense. You will get the lowest bid. Maybe you've got two people volleying back and forth, on that particular item, we were able to get significantly more than we thought we would because someone saw the historical value. The ring was from 1905 and it had an inscription in it. And it was a pretty cool piece. I didn't think that we'd be able to get any intrinsic value out of it. I thought we would just get scrap. But that particular piece, a couple of people saw the intrinsic value in it and we were able to get a little bit more than we were expecting, which was awesome. There's a couple of times that using an auction, if you use it appropriately, would be a fine thing to do. But starting your auctions at $1 or even $5 with free ship or something like that, where there's just no way that you'll ever get your value because people are going to wait until the last possible minute and try to snipe it. And then you still aren't getting that volley back and forth.
Right. So recently I saw someone, we sell postcards, saw someone had an account that they're starting, they claim they list 3,000 postcards a week and they start them all at 99 cents. The vast majority of their postcards went unsold in that week. So the marketplace is telling them that the things that they're offering aren't even worth $1. And I'm looking into it and I'm sorry, they didn't start at $1. They started at 1 cent.
Oh, jeez.
1 cent. And then you read through the fine print of their listing and they tell you that, if your item does not exceed $1 in total value, they're going to charge you an additional $1 for shipping because they're offering it free shipping. But the reality is that they can't make money selling something at 1 cent free shipping. So, what type of buyer experience? We talk about buying experience all the time. What kind of buying experience if you think you're getting something for a nickel and they charge you an extra $1?
Mm-hmm.
Now, at $1, even $1.05, what is the reality for that seller?
Mm-hmm.
30-cent processing fee from eBay, 15-cent per selling fee, so that you're at 45 cents. You have the cost of a sleeve Hopefully this person is utilizing some type of plastic sleeve to protect the item in the mail.
The envelope.
The cost
stamp.
of an envelope. Right.
Yeah.
And I believe it's 63 cents currently for an envelope. They're not making any money. They're literally doing all of the work to not create any profit for themselves. They're employing the mail service, they're employing eBay, they're, helping out the people that make the envelopes, but they're really not putting any money in their pocket. So again, complete waste. I would not recommend that buying model to anyone. And I don't know how you list 3,000 items in a single week.
Right. We've talked about like the fact that we list, we can list 50 items a day, and that's not a problem. There's two of us also.
Right.
But yeah, no, I couldn't imagine oh no.
Yeah.
We've talked about the fact that we utilize, our local auction house. We love auctions, so please don't misunderstand. We really love auctions because we can get items that are severely undervalued, right? As a purchaser, we have utilized auctions on eBay. He bought...
Right. I actually bought some cruise ephemera. That's another one of the categories that we sell in. Person was selling some specialty luggage tags. They had been unused, and they were from probably the 40s or 50s. And I was able to buy a collection of them. They put them up for auction, $10. They charged $1 shipping, which if you understand the USPS system, $1 is not going to cover the cost of shipping. And that's what the price sold for. It was $9.99 for this lot. I turned them around immediately. I took pictures of every piece individually, and I started selling them, pricing them appropriately. And I probably made $40 on a $10 purchase. So again, and
still has more items
right.
that are in our inventory.
Right. That's just one example. This week we were at the live auction, and you bought a tray of jewelry.
I did.
It was mostly appeared to be scrap at first glance. And then as we, started looking and examining the items, we noticed that some of the pieces were marked 14 karat. Mm-hmm. Some of them were marked 925.
Yeah.
And what appeared to be just a pile of scrap, dirty old jewelry.
Right.
Actually, there was a 1 carat total weight diamond stud set.
Yep.
There was emeralds.
Mystic topaz, Mercury mystic topaz set in gold. I got an emerald and diamond ring set in gold. There were, that was just for my personal jewelry box. For the business, I also bought, a bunch of stuff as well. Lots of sterling pieces, lots of beautiful necklaces, lots of just different gemstones. Purple sapphire. So that's another nice one. So I was able to get an insane amount of high quality fine jewelry, and I was getting them at like I got this ring for $20.
Right. So again, if you were the consignor, if you're the seller on that lot, recognizing that you had a $200 item that sold for $20,
right, I
would be devastated.
Yeah.
You honestly, frankly, on that item, you'd be better off take it to your local pawn shop or your local jeweler.
Right.
Talk
I
to
got
them about
1
it.
carat diamond earrings for $20. Because I recognized. Actually, I really didn't even recognize it. It wasn't until I got home and I tested them and then I cleaned them up, and I'm like, holy crow, because I thought they were CZ because they were cloudy as heck because they were filthy. Yeah. But yes, if you're the consignor, right? If you're the person who has those items for sale, don't sell a 1 carat diamond earrings for $20. Don't cheat yourself that badly, right. Just because you want a quick turnaround. It's worth it to have a little bit of space in your inventory being used and getting what an item is worth. Yes, take your 10% discount, do reasonable discounts, but don't take a 90% discount or a 99% discount.
Right. So again, it's not that there's not a place for live local auctions. It's not that there's not a place for eBay auctions. Live local auctions oftentimes will come in, and just so you're aware, we did talk to the owner of the local auction house. We're
going to set up an interview with him,
right,
and we're going to go around the auction house and show you guys what it's like, what it would be like on a live. We're not going to do a live auction, but we are going to have an interview with the auctioneer,
right. And so there's certainly a place that the live local auction comes into place, and that they're able to move in, help you if you have a medical problem where maybe somebody's being institutionalized, or perhaps someone has passed away,
and you really need to get that estate settled.
Right. So a lot of times in those situations, there's a court order. The court mandates all possessions, anything that's monetary value, go to help to pay either the family or for the care of that person.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it's important that, if you're attending one of these, keep that in mind, that, the money is going to a good place. It is going to take care of the family of those people. So
mm-hmm.
I don't have any guilt about going to a live auction and helping them with, generating that revenue.
And sometimes there are those rare items. And, there's been times when we've paid up just about more because it's a rare item. You can't just turn around and pick it up online,
Right.
or it's a high quality item, there's all kinds of times, or there's times that we consign and we're like, you know what? I cannot look at this inventory for another day. It's hurting my heart.
Right.
Every day I see it on the shelf and it reminds me that item is not selling, and I just want to get out from underneath it.
Right. So they do have that ability. They can move a lot of product quickly,
mm-hmm.
and they can get it out of your store. They can get it off your, out of your estate. And really that is the goal, is to move product quickly.
Right.
But unfortunately, when it comes to getting top dollar, that's a patience game. Mm-hmm. So what I actually want to talk about is with regard to eBay and the effect that auctions are having. So like you had talked about the fact that the sold comps are extremely low on some of these items that
yes.
may be slightly rare and maybe more valuable than what people are actually getting.
Absolutely. So I had a Juliana bracelet and necklace and earring set, right? So I'm doing my listing. This is a $200 set. It was literally the only set on the entire internet. So there was one bracelet solo that I could find, and there were no matching earrings at all. So I had both the necklace, the bracelet, and the matching earrings. And again, Juliana piece. It was confirmed. And so this is a $200 piece. I sold it for $200. When I was doing the comps, there were auctions on these similar Juliana pieces for $30. It's literally a $200 piece. I can prove it. I sold it for $200. So, but because of that, when I'm doing my listing on the side, it'll tell you, the AI is like, oh, this item should be priced at $30. No, it should not.
Right. Right. So, and the reason that that's a problem, and the reason that that's concerning, is that if people aren't keeping up with the AI technology, and the way that eBay's utilizing that is they take their sold comps, they compile them without the cost of shipping. So we do free shipping, it changes our price point. It's going to increase our price point. They take the price pre-shipping, pre-taxes, all of that stuff, and they average it, and that is what they consider the item to be worth.
Right.
If they do not have an item that is identical, they'll take a similar item.
Right. And those similar items are so very rarely similar.
Right. So what's actually happening is that when they take your item, compare it to the historical average, they're going to rank you in your listing higher or lower based on how you compare in your price to that historical average.
Right.
So if your price is 3 or 4 times higher than the average, you're not going to get the traffic. You're not going to get the views. So by doing those auctions, you're hurting yourself. You're hurting the rest of the marketplace. It really as far as I can see, there's no upside to doing low value, low start price auctions on eBay. We had talked also a little bit about Whatnot. I don't think we got time.
No, we tried one Whatnot. The problem when you're doing an auction and you don't have people, you're not going to sell your items. So right. If you are trying to do Whatnot and you have like 4 people in your show, you're not going to get any value whatsoever. So right. People understand that. And so they don't bring high value items to the platform because they can't get any money for it.
Right. So again, if you're a buyer and you're interested mm-hmm. in getting those discount deals, I've purchased items, again, undervalued on the platform, turn them around, price them properly, throw them on eBay, and I've sold them for a profit.
It's a lot more work. It absolutely is a lot more work to do the comps, to find out what is appropriate for the price points, to take all of the pictures and to do all of the item specifics and all of the things that go into a high quality listing. So mm-hmm. it might be easier to do an auction and just take one blurry picture. And these are some of the auctions that we've seen lately that are just but if this is your business, please do yourself a favor and do your best work. Do some high quality work, do the comps, do the photos, do the item specifics. If it's something that you genuinely just want to get rid of, then maybe, but price it at least somewhat appropriately. Don't start it at $1 or $5 if it's, because again, it's going to take so much time to get that volley to try to get up from your $1 start to the appropriate like $100 ending price. So just bring it up a little bit more,
right.
Please.
I mean, if you're one of the things I had mentioned was the postcards. If you have 3,000 postcards you're looking to sell, and you don't want to start the auction listings at 1 cent. There's nothing wrong with starting it at $1.25.
Right.
I mean, let's be realistic. You don't have to try to cheat people. You don't have to try to trick people into bidding on your 1 cent
right.
item and then send them a $1.50 bill at the end of the auction on something that they thought they were getting for 1 cent. Mm-hmm. If you know that your item's not worth that much, we do lots of postcards. We'll sell 500 Chrome postcards for $50 free shipping.
Right.
You could always do that. Take your 3,000 postcards, put them in a lot, sell them for $300, and move on with your life. Mm-hmm. Find a better item. So that's our thoughts on it. If you have a different experience with auctions, please let us know.
Yeah. We could be totally off, and perhaps your business model is different than ours, and obviously that's okay. We get that we're not the only ones that have a business, so other people run their businesses very different than we do. So tell us down below, when do auctions actually work for you? So yeah.
They work for us to dump stuff. That's really what we use them for, is to just get rid of stuff quickly that we don't want to get any money out of.
Yeah.
So
because it's better than having it take up room on our shelves.
Right. So good luck to everybody out there. Like and subscribe.
Thanks so much. Bye.